Welcome to the 1 Minute Real Estate Broker. My name's Saul Klein, and I am the chairman of Internet Crusade in Realtown, and we're a real estate education company and an online training company, and we think it's critical that people learn more about real estate. You know, real estate really is, for most people, the biggest investment of their life, and yet so often people get involved in a real estate transaction without having the background. So our goal here in the 1 Minute Real Estate Broker is to take you piece by piece, bite by bite, one piece of information after another. So if you view all of these videos, it'll be just as good as sitting down and going through a college level course on real estate principles. So to make it something that you can digest, again, we're going to do this just one step at a time. So we'll begin by talking about property. Not real property, but in general, property. And property comes in two basic types. There's real property and personal property. Now, the distinguishing characteristic of personal property is that it's movable. And the distinguishing characteristic of real property is that it's immovable. Now, in the age of the internet, in the age of technology, my partners, Mike Barnett and John Riley, tell me that there's now a new type of property, and it's unreal property or virtual property. And later in the course, we'll talk about situations where property that doesn't exist can actually be purchased, and we'll talk about there.com and secondlife.com. So there's a whole new category, and things are really getting exciting because of the technology. But let's go back to property. When people say property, what do they mean? Well, they mean either real property or personal property. Personal property, movable. Real property, immovable. Let's now look at personal property. When we look at personal property, examples of personal property would be things like money, currency, stock and trade. You know, the grocer has food on the shelf, stock and trade. Notes and deeds of trust. Leases. Leases are actually personal property. Chosen possession, tangible objects. And then intangible, chosen action, such as somebody's right to sue. And the real estate term, or the term we use in real estate to refer to all property, is chattel. And chattel, an old English word for cattle, referring to, again, movable personal property. Also included in that category of personal property are things known as trade fixtures. And trade fixtures are those fixtures, those items used by a tenant in their trade or business, which can be permanently affixed to the real property, and then if the tenant leaves, can be taken from the real property. Examples of trade fixtures would be items permanently attached in a restaurant. It gets permanently attached to the wall, but when the restaurant owner decides to take his restaurant somewhere else, he can actually, as long as he repairs the damage, he can take that restaurant equipment with him or with her. Now, the tests of a fixture to determine whether or not something is a fixture as opposed to a trade fixture, because there's a difference, is the acronym MARIA. And you'll hear us talk about that when we talk about fixtures. MARIA: method of attachment, adaptability, relationship of the parties, intention of the parties, and agreement of the parties. So that's it for the first minute of real estate.